So for those who are really practicing their Catholic faith, you would hear in the Catholic circles about consecrating yourselves to Mary, right? And people would have this misconception that that term means that we are worshiping Mary. But consecrating ourselves to Mary means that we are just consecrating ourselves to Jesus through Mary. Mary is the way. Of course, there are different ways going to Jesus. You could go directly to Jesus. But Mary, as St. Louis de Montfort said, Mary is the surest, safest, shortest, and most perfect way to go to her son, Jesus. If you want to go to Jesus, it's like I use this analogy as Mary as a GPS. You know, if you use a GPS, it calculates the shortest and most efficient way of going to your destination. Mary is our spiritual GPS going to Jesus. Okay? And a classic example of that is today's feast day, May 13, Our Lady of Fatima. And this happened in the very life of St. John Paul II. Okay? So I'll just be sharing with you from this book, 33 Days to Morning Glory by Father Michael Gately. So for those who have the book, review day 22. Okay? Day 22. So it talks about in 1917, World War I was raging. And Mary appeared to these 3 shepherd children in Fatima, Portugal. And Mary told them that the war would end, this World War would end, but if people did not convert, a worse war would follow. And Russia would spread its error throughout the world, causing more wars, martyrs, and persecutions of the church. So to prevent this, Mary asked that the Holy Father consecrate Russia to her Immaculate Heart, and for people to make 5 consecutive First Saturday communion of reparation. Okay? So it's very interesting, Father Michael Gately wrote here that Mary mentioned Russia. At that time, this was a cause of confusion because Russia, they call Russia Holy Russia. Okay? And it's because this country was very devout. You know, how could this devout country spread, terror throughout the whole world? And what happened there was that at that point in history, the Soviet Revolution was in its infancy. The communist, atheist, totalitarian regime had not yet been established. Okay? So after Mary gave her prophecy about Russia, the children saw a vision involving a bishop dressed in white, who they understood to be the Pope. With great distress, they saw that he would suffer much and then be shot and killed. So this is the last secret of Fatima. So this apparition of Mary on Fatima, Portugal, happened on May 13, 1917 at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. 64 years later, May 13, 1981, at 5 p.m., okay, Pope John Paul was riding on his Jeep. There's Pope Mobile or something at St. Peter's Square. And there was a gunman who fired 2 shots to the Pope from close range. Okay? And so the first bullet grazed his elbow. The second struck him in the abdomen and ricocheted inside him, shredding intestines and piercing his colon. But he did not die. You know, he says, the Pope stated that one hand fired and another guided the bullet. Okay? So what happened there, that St. John Paul II believed that it was the hand of Our Lady of Fatima, okay, that protected him. So that's why I think he went on a pilgrimage to Fatima to give thanks. And then the bullet that was taken out from his body was put on the crown of Mary. It's there as a sign of thanksgiving. Okay? So the Pope said yes to the request of Mary to consecrate Russia. So on March 25th, 1984, St. John Paul II made a solemn entrustment of the world to Mary's Immaculate Heart. Okay? But that mission so what happened there was that 5 years later, the communist regime of the Soviet Union, which is Russia, came to an end, which is the fall of the Wall of Berlin, right? 5 years later. You see here how Mary was very instrumental for that. But St. John Paul II still has a bigger mission. And what was that bigger mission? That bigger mission was to promote the divine mercy. He lived because his mission is to promote the divine mercy of Jesus. That's why on year 2000, he established the Feast of the Divine Mercy, which is the second Sunday of Easter, and a solemn act of entrustment of the world to divine mercy in year 2002. Okay? And 3 years after this entrustment, this great Marian Pope, the great Mercy Pope, died on the first Saturday in the vigil of Divine Mercy Sunday. First Saturday, Mary, Divine Mercy Sunday, the eve. Beautiful, right? And so we see here how Mary brought St. John Paul II to the divine mercy of Jesus. And for me, I personally experienced that. I consecrated myself to Mary December 8, 2006, 15 years ago. At that time, I have no devotion to the divine mercy. But my devotion to the divine mercy grew so much. And not just growing in the devotion to the divine mercy, I experienced divine mercy in my life, in my priesthood. Right? I got healed through the divine mercy and through the intercession of Mary. I consecrated myself to the divine mercy on the Divine Mercy Sunday of 2016. Within the first year of my priesthood, I consecrated myself to the divine mercy. And as I said, I experienced the divine mercy in my life as the Lord brought healing. And not just for me, but for my family too. Today, my family and some friends, we're going to consecrate ourselves to Mary after this. And we experience the divine mercy in my family. And that's what I'm going to share at the funeral mass for my parents this coming Friday. So if you want to know more about that, hope you could join us for the funeral mass this Friday. So I really encourage you, consecrate yourself to Mary, to Jesus through Mary. Use this book, 33 Days to Morning Glory, and I guarantee you, you will grow in your devotion to the divine mercy, and you will really experience the divine mercy, not just in your life, but also in the life of your loved ones.